Hello and welcome to Teacher Talk, the podcast for teachers who are lifers but still want to have a life. This is Jared, and as always, I'm joined by my partner, Johanna. Hey, Johanna.
Hi, Jared.
What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to extend the information on how parents can help their kids get the most out of their education by talking about how teachers can help parents to understand what parents can do to help their kids get the most out of their education.
Help me to help you help me?
Yes.
All right. So help me learn how to help them help me help them.
Yes.
Teach me now what to do.
Yes. It sounds like the teachers really want the parents to know what was in that podcast about how parents can help their kids get the most out of their education, their students' education, but teachers don't know how to get that information to the parents.
Because you can't just make them listen to the podcast.
Right. You can't just send a note home that says, I've listened to the podcast.
Right.
And sign my name.
You can't assign homework to the parents.
You cannot assign homework to the
although
right.
It should be. There ought to be a law. But given that there's not. So this podcast is about teachers can get parents to know the things, or at least some of the things that were in Parents Helping Teachers podcast without them actually listening to it. How do
you sneak that in?
How do you plant that little mental message
that seed
as a little seedling?
Yes.
And then let it germinate into...
Percolate.
No.
Germinate.
Percolate
is coffee.
Yes.
But then you make coffee.
I mean, it's a similar concept in that it, bubbles up, I guess, but...
Yeah.
All right. What do you do?
Well, we're going to go back to my standard true statement. Same team.
All right.
A lot of times teachers in their heads can talk about, well, if parents only did blah, 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 and then they don't mean to, but that tone that's inside their head pops out in their communication to parents, and then that is not same team.
While this is correct things to think and feel, it's still loser talk.
I don't think it's correct things to think or feel. It's not.
No,
it's not easy to parent, just like it's not easy to teach. And when you're trying to get your bills paid, and if you have multiple children, all of them cared for, you do kind of have to understand that there's a lot on the parent plate.
I mean, that's excuses, though. Do you think that when you're the teacher and you're like, well, I didn't do a really good job educating your kids because it's hard and I have too many kids, do you think the excuses play? It's still valid to think if the parents did a better job, this would be a lot easier. That's a correct and smart thing to think. It's just when you start thinking it, it leads to worse outcomes. So kill it.
Kill it.
Don't think it, even though it's right.
Don't think it.
That's what same team means.
Yes. And if you as a player have more knowledge than the other players, then to help the team, you're going to share that, but not as a judgment or the captain.
So you got to drive that out of your mind, or otherwise it'll betray itself in your tone or your attitude.
Many times teachers will go through what I'm about to share, and then they'll ask me for feedback, and all I see and read or watch is a tone of judgment that the teacher doesn't even realize they've put in there. So you got to same team it.
All right.
Okay. We're on the same team.
Same team.
Which means...
That's all we need. So we're done.
You are not...
Thank you, Johanna.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. You're not the captain of the team as the teacher.
Oh, okay. Who is the captain?
The parent.
The parent is the captain?
The parent is the captain.
All right. So what do you do?
So you need to treat them like they're an adult.
Got it.
And
That's the simplest thing in the world. No problem.
Simplest thing in the world. But a lot of teachers, again, act like they are the boss. And if you act like the boss, then you will become the boss. And then all the responsibility is yours.
Right.
You're a teammate.
And they're the captain?
They're the captain. So you need to do things like smile. We've talked about this one before.
You're like Tom Hanks.
Like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
What is that?
And they're like that other guy whose name I don't remember, even though I think he might have been nominated for...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because he was the captain now. Tom Hanks wasn't anymore.
What movie are you referencing?
Captain Phillips.
I have not seen this
When
movie.
the pirates captured the guy from the tanker.
Yes, I know about the real life
Yeah.
I have not seen the movie.
There's a movie. It's a Tom Hanks movie. It's probably fine. I haven't seen it either.
Oh, okay.
But he says, I'm the captain now.
Okay. So the parent's the captain.
Right.
You have to act
You're
like
Tom
the parents.
Hanks.
Okay. Yes, I'm Tom Hanks.
Because you're not the captain now?
I'm not the captain.
All right.
I'm going to smile.
Yes.
I'm going to always introduce myself without the title. First name, last name, shake their hand.
What if you're a doctor? What
No.
if you're a doctor and you went to school for so long just so you could force people to call you doctor?
Yeah,
like
don't.
every other doctor on the planet?
Don't.
The only reason you went into it was
Don't.
just so you could make them say, actually, it's doctor?
Too bad. Do you want to be in charge of everything? Then they can say doctor and you can be in charge and it will be 100% your responsibility and they would be happy as parents to defer to you to take over and lead their child.
But if you don't want that,
If you don't want that, then let it go.
all right. So not Mr., not doctor,
No.
just first name basis.
First
Like
name.
teammates would be.
Just like a teammate.
All right.
Do you make your peers call you Dr. So-and-so? Because if you do, then no one likes you.
Or Mr. So-and-so,
Yes.
right?
No.
Either way, right?
I tell my parents, you can call me Johanna.
I insist on everyone calling me Jared Esquire. like,
There's a bunch of people that don't know what Esquire means.
like Ted.
And now they are.
No one knows what Esquire means. It's just the thing that lawyers tend to put after their name. Or Ted Theodore Logan's friend, Bill S. Preston Esquire. Remember that?
Yes.
Be excellent to each other.
Yes. Bill and Ted. They have excellent adventures.
Yes.
See? I got a joke.
You did.
It can happen. Okay. So, same team. Smile. They're the captain. You introduce yourself, full name. Tell them to call you by your first name. And then, what do you want to do right away if they're the captain?
Say aye
No, you want them to like you. And what's
Oh.
the best way to make your captain like you?
with treats
No.
by swabbing the deck.
By complimenting them or congratulating them about something.
About the kid?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. This is a good way to get positive relations established with people is to say something nice about their kid.
Yeah, with a huge smile on your face, bright eyes, take it all the way up, make it genuine.
Because you can find something nice to say about pretty much everyone.
Yes, of course you can.
So use it.
Use it.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Okay. So you're
If
establishing.
if you have seen their kid for all of 30 seconds, after you introduce yourself to the captain, then introduce yourself to the child and ask the child questions. No, you are being judged. Make the captain like you because they see you liking and responding to their kid. Even if the kid is acting like crazy sauce, ignore it. Connect with the kid. Like, you want that to be very, very positive.
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 Got it.
They're the captain.
What's next?
Okay. Then you need to, when it is time, have the kid say the hard stuff and the bad stuff.
What's that mean? Like, I didn't get my homework done. Like, I didn't show up for class. I stabbed a kid. Like, what do you mean the hard stuff and the bad stuff?
Any of it. So let's say it's conference time.
So you spent all this work being positive. Don't you transition to the negative. Let the kid.
Let the kid do that.
Got it. Okay.
I encourage having kids as a part of conferences. If kids can't be a part of conferences, we've talked about this before, have them write letters, ask them the questions that will get them to at least open the door to discussing the bad stuff so that it's being brought up by the kid first, not you.
Because that makes
If
I'm
it's little-
jumping here, but if you open the bad stuff, even though you're not meaning to talk about like it's bad, what you want is to talk about ways to make things better.
Yeah, you are the solution finder. That's what you do on the team.
But by letting them bring it up, you're not also the bad news bearer.
Right.
You're just the solution finder, which makes things work better.
if they're little and it's not appropriate to have them at the conference, then make little videos on your phone where you ask kids questions and they answer it. And that's how the kid's voice is at the conference.
Like,
or
how was class today, Jimmy?
Yeah. What are some things you're struggling with when it comes to school?
Okay.
You know, how do you feel like it's going counting? How is subtraction going? Like, ask them the question that will get the kid to answer to open the door to the conversation you need to have.
I'm really feeling this because every teacher who's ever said even the slightest negative thing about my kids was kind of like my initial reaction, even though I'm an intelligent person who can overcome my immediate emotional responses with reason and logic sometimes, is like, well, you know what, buddy?
Are you kidding? No one ever says anything negative about our kids.
That's why I say even the slightest bit, it's like,
really?
It puts you on a fighting stance, kind of, right? Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, what's wrong with you, pal?
Okay, because see, I don't have that reaction at all.
Well,
but I know parents
you're
do.
in the business.
I know parents do. You can see it in their eyes. You can, as soon as you start to say, like, well, we're struggling with homework completion, you can.
Yeah, well, maybe you give too much homework.
That is what they think in their head instantaneously.
Same thing I think.
So the door is opened by the kid, and you've got to get creative about it. But trust me, it is worth classroom time. It is worth inviting the kid to conference if they're old enough. You know, even a first grader, depends on the first grader, but be willing to be brave about getting the kid to the conference. Or if you're needing to do a call home, same thing. You want to try and figure out a way that the kid is opening that door, even if you're communicating out what the kid said. So let's say you don't have a way for the kid to talk. You can say that you're calling home and you're nervous about, Jimmy shared concern that he didn't know how to be kind to friends. Like, put the words in the kid's mouth and have the conversation with the kid, so when the parent asks, the kid will be able to reference what you've already started with them.
Got it. Okay.
Then you're spending all your time doing two things. One, you're deferring to the parent as the captain.
Deferring. I'm deferring.
Right.
What does that look like? Tell me what that means.
Jimmy expresses that he is struggling with staying focused during class. Okay. What are some tricks you have at home, or what are some things you've done at home that help Jimmy when he's struggling to focus?
Do you ask if they notice anything like that first?
No.
You just go straight into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because our time is not spent wondering if there is a problem.
We already established because the kid said so.
The kid established that there was a problem. Now we are deferring to you as the captain.
And they might say, well, we never noticed any problem paying attention at home.
Good. Defer back to the kid. What are some reasons you think you're struggling at school, but you're not struggling at home?
Right.
What type of activities are you doing at home that don't cause you to have a problem? What's the environment like? How can we put this into the classroom?
Well, I don't have any trouble focusing on Fortnite.
Well, right. That will come out.
It's easy to focus on that.
And we've talked about this a little bit before, but this is then you can start to find solutions. So let's say you start diving into the weeds and you're realizing that when Jimmy gets good sleep, Jimmy has a good day. Or when Susie doesn't have her cell phone accessible to her all night and is texting all night and doing all sorts of other things all night, she has a much better day. You're solution focused.
But you're driving at that from like, well, because the kid's going to say, well, because I'm tired. And you say, well, why do you think you're tired?
No, defer to the parent. To the parent.
Parents
The captain.
Parents the captain. Parents, why do you think Susie's tired?
Right.
Because Susie just said she's having trouble focusing because she was tired. So why do you think Susie might be tired sometimes? And they'll come up with ideas like, well, she's on her phone all the time.
They will.
Okay.
And then you can start to feed in resources. Would it be helpful if we created a plan as a team for how to manage the cell phone, because like technology is a perfect example. Parents don't understand that they are the boss of that technology, even if it's school provided, that they are the boss.
So you're
and
saying,
because they weren't ever parented, they learn how to parent from their parents, and their parents never had to parent technology. So they're a little bit clueless on like, hello, you take the phone away from your child at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. Like, your child is 14. They don't have the prefrontal cortex to...
So you're saying, take it from you, parents just don't understand?
What do you mean? You're making a reference. You're making a joke. I don't know jokes.
It's a 30-year-old Will Smith rap. Back when he was well, he wasn't, but his group was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Well, that was later, but yes.
Oh, I liked that one.
Okay.
Okay, but that's how you can start to take those, like, I need you to be the bad guy things, and that's your in to start, because you don't need them to know everything I shared in that podcast, but there might be one thing that if they took with them could be helpful.
Okay.
Right? So that's kind of a whole nother rabbit hole, but
Well, maybe it'll be another podcast.
another podcast. Well, because it can be tricky. Like, the kid just simply isn't managing their time outside of school well, because they're spending 5 hours doing video games instead of doing chores. And that's where you make that team. So, like, I'm struggling to have the kid work independently. So if the kid is the one that introduces the fact that they're struggling with independent work, then I can say to the parent, what are some ways you get your kid to do chores at home? And then your response might be chores. They don't do chores. They play that stupid video game all the time.
Well.
Maybe as a team, we could come up with a way to help teach responsibility.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want, like...
I like this plan. I'm excited to be a part of this plan. Because I don't really like them on that video game anyway. So, go team.
Right. And the teacher right now, I can hear it, is saying, well, the parent won't follow through.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But...
You're going to hold them accountable because they're the captain.
Because you already made them the captain.
Right.
And so how do you hold them accountable?
So then after you have a conversation like this, the next time you call, again, who's introducing the issue?
The kid.
The kid, by whatever means necessary. Either you're putting words...
A note, a video,
anything.
Yeah.
The kid is running the phone call in the beginning.
You make them call.
Yes. We're still struggling with reading. I'm wondering how the reading practice at home has been going and what you've been using to make that successful.
They'll see through that like grandma's underpants.
Maybe, but you're deferring to them as the captain that is doing what they're supposed to because they're the captain.
So even if they see through it because they...
What are they going to do? Say we haven't been doing our reading?
Because you didn't make yourself the boss of it. They'll feel like they're the boss.
Right, and you'll be surprised at how quickly once they see that you're deferring to them as the boss and letting them take a lot of control and ownership, how quickly they'll confess to things they haven't been doing right. They'll start telling you life stories. They can help paint all of the perspective on the struggles that the student is having, but it keeps that same team, and you'll notice over time that it does make a difference.
We didn't clickbait this podcast very well. We could have done a lot better with like 3 simple tricks to get parents to do the work to make their kids better learners, right? Because that's basically what you're saying. We have 3 simple tricks. You're supposed to have numbers and use the word trick. Although people are getting wise to that. That's kind of like a 2014 thing. But that's it, right? Are we ready for the recap? Can I say the 3 tricks?
No, because there's one last little thing.
4 simple tricks.
Okay.
You won't believe number 3.
Pre-communicate.
So
this is more at the secondary level. You have hundreds of kids. You're not going to meet each parent. You might not ever conference with each parent. You might never meet the parent. How do you create same team? How do you do all of this? Because your goal is to have almost all the students never need you to contact their parent. That's how you teach in 8 hours, right? That's how you can be a lifelong teacher.
Right.
When you have hundreds of kids.
Yeah.
So, video's your friend. We've discussed this before. So you need to make a video of yourself introducing yourself to the parent that you can share. Email.
Right.
Yeah. where you're super likable and friendly and smiley and you come across as someone that they want their kid to have. And
it's like a super effective way to personalize the relationship off the bat.
They can see you, and you need to be super relaxed. Don't script it. If it makes it easier, make someone you know stand behind the camera so you're talking at someone. Make a kid stand behind the camera. Kids will help you make great videos.
They'll love it.
They'll love it. They will love it, and they will help you become a genuine human person in a 2-minute video that introduces yourself and let your mistakes and foibles just exist.
Foibles?
Foibles?
Foibles.
Foibles?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the word is.
Foibles.
Foibles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Same thing with the letter home. You need to write that. It's going to include things like the rules and stuff, but you got to not tell them as the parent their job is to help maintain the rules.
Because then you're the captain?
Because then you're the captain.
You don't want to be the captain?
You're not the captain. You don't have time for that. So, super friendly, super welcoming. If this doesn't work for them, they should feel free to contact you. You're a team, blah, blah, blah. Lay it out. Pre-communicate.
Got it.
Video's better than a letter.
Yeah, because it personalizes?
Personalizes.
Is that what you do in your videos? Is you sing things weirdly like that?
I do, but doesn't it make you feel like you know me just a little bit?
No.
It does too. If I have to call you, I won't, because you'll be like, that teacher's nice. What's your problem?
Sings things weirdly. Great.
Yeah. Well, that's just me. You be you.
You be you.
You be you and be a smiley, kind, friendly version of you.
We get a lot of platitudes in this podcast, but they're not just platitudes. They're actually true. The same theme, you be you, like all for reasons, not just because it sounds pithy and semi-wise.
Parents won't hear the message you need to deliver unless they ask for the message to be delivered.
Yes.
And so all of this is about creating an environment where the parents will ask for you to deliver the message they need to hear.
Recap time.
Recap it.
I'm going to do the last one first because this probably should be first.
Okay.
Which is pre-communicate.
Pre-communicate.
Send your video, personalize yourself, establish the standards, right?
Yes.
Open the lines of communication and free and open where you're not the captain.
You are a member of the team.
Which is Simple Trick 2, same team.
Same team.
And this one is mostly just, it's kind of related to Simple Trick 3, which is, I think, the key of the whole thing. But Simple Trick 2 is drive the negative thoughts out of your own mind. Like, you got to get yourself on the same team first.
And see them as the captain first.
We're skipping to Trick 3.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Trick 3 is they're the captain. And this is the brilliance of the whole message, is in your techniques are, put yourself on a first name basis. Don't act like you're the boss or the expert, like you're the one that's going to take responsibility for everything. You have to, through this casualness and personalization, create the idea in their mind that they're the boss of their kids' education.
They're the boss of their kids. Whether you like it or not, they are the thing that will be constant and consistent. You are there to raise a child, and you are but a glimpse of that continuum of raising that child. And that parent has to take, whoever, if it's not a parent, if it's an older sibling, if it's a grandparent, you need to honor the fact that you are but a small segment of the time necessary to grow that child.
And the last trick, which none of these are really tricks, is to have any negative thing be delivered by the kid themselves.
Yep. It doesn't have to be the complete story. It just has to be enough of the story to open the door. And you get to that by asking the right question.
And it prevents the parents from being resentful of you. And it reinforces they're the captain relationship. Because it's the kid reporting to the captain.
We're reporting to the captain.
Are working like they wanted to.
That's right.
All right, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Jared.
Joanna, do you get questions from listeners ever?
Yes, we do.
How do those listeners send you questions?
They send us an email.
Where does that email go?
teachertalk4teachers@gmail.com.
But wait, what kind of 4? How do I do 4?
All of the 4s. They can do a number 4. They can write the word FOR, or they can do FOUR, even though that one doesn't quite make sense.
Well, perfect. teachertalk4teachers@gmail.com.
Yes.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you, Jared.
Teacher Talk, the podcast for teachers who are lifers but still want to have a life.